Hi everyone, welcome back to yet another lecture in the IELTS 10-minute concept series with me Vandana. Now in today's lecture we are going to dive deep into something super useful for your IELTS exam and even otherwise for your spoken English. What exactly is that? So we are going to understand how to use these conjunctions which are although, while and whereas for contrasting ideas. And if you are able to use them with accuracy in your spoken and written English, you will be showing a different level of grammatical range to the IELTS examiner. So let's quickly understand how exactly they are used and what to do when we are using them, what to keep in mind, what ideas, what rules to keep in mind. So here we go. Now, the very first thing to understand is what are contrasting ideas and why exactly do we need to use them? So, let's understand what are contrasting ideas first. So, contrasting ideas are two thoughts, opinions, facts or actions that are different or opposite in nature. बिल्कुल एक दूसरे से opposite जो होते हैं उनको हम contrasting ideas बोलते हैं. For example, hot and cold, success and failure, working hard and being lazy, traditional education versus online education. So if you see, they are absolutely contrasting in nature. They are sort of opposites of each other. That is what we call as contrasting ideas. Now, why do we need to use them in our IELTS writing as well as in speaking? Just because of two simple reasons. Number one, to show balance and critical thinking. What exactly is that? Look here. So it's especially useful in IELTS writing and speaking. Look at this example. Although technology makes life easier, it can also increase stress. So आप balance कर रहे हो. आपने दोनों साइड की बात कर दी. आपने टेक्नोलॉजी की negatives as well as positives दोनों साइड की बात कर दी. And it also shows your critical thinking skills to the examiner. The examiner would know that okay, this candidate has not thought about only one side. This candidate has also thought about the opposite side. So that is how you show your critical thinking skills to the examiner in your writing as well as in your speaking module. Moving on, they are also used to compare and highlight differences. For example, it helps the reader or listener understand both the sides. Look at this example. Whereas some students prefer studying alone, others enjoy group work. So here we are discussing both sides, group versus studying alone. So once again, we are showing the examiner that okay, we have thought of both the sides. So for these kind of ideas, we need to use contrasting conjunctions like although, whereas, while, which are super advanced if you are able to use them correctly. Now the very first thing is, let's talk about this beautiful conjunction although. Now to make you understand this conjunction although, look at these two sentences. Sentence number one, it was raining. Sentence number two, we went for a walk. Now, are you feeling surprised when you read something like this that okay, it was raining, still we decided to go out for a walk? Isn't it surprising? So when you have such surprising ideas, कि हालांकि ऐसा था फिर भी हमने वैसा डिसाइड किया. When you have surprising ideas, go with although. In place of although, we also use even though. Now some grammar Nazis would say that even though is more formal than although, but yes, they work more or less the same way. You can replace although with even though. But just make sure if you are doing it, there should be a gap between even and though. They are not one word, they are two words. Another one is though, and I would not recommend it for your writing module because this is considered informal. So for spoken English, it is okay, but for IELTS writing, though is not okay. Now let's understand using although, how can we connect these kind of two surprising ideas? So here you go. Although it was raining, we went for a walk. So we have although in the beginning. And then we have two surprising ideas. Number one, it was raining. Number two, we went for a walk. Now, when you are joining two surprising ideas using although and you have although in the beginning, you need a comma in the middle. But look here, if you have although in the middle, then you don't really need any comma in that sentence. Look here. We went for a walk although it was raining. And look at this one. And please never write these kind of sentences. Although it was raining, we went for a walk. What is the problem in this sentence? The problem is that we have such an advanced conjunction although, but we are not allowing it to do its job. The job of a conjunction is to join two sentences. But we have already got a full stop in the middle of two sentences. So how will this conjunction do its job? So if you are using conjunctions like although, even though, whereas, subordinating conjunctions basically, do not do this goof up. Do not have a full stop between the two sentences that you are trying to join. Moving on. So here we have some more examples of although. Now they are related to, so basically they are IELTS level examples. Look here. Although the city invested heavily in recycling programs, overall waste levels have not decreased, because we have although in the beginning, and that is why we have a comma in the middle. Similarly, the city has invested in public transport, although traffic congestion remains a major cause. Although in the middle, no comma. The last one, although working from home offers convenience, many employees report feeling more isolated and less productive. So number one, look at the surprising tone. Look at the surprising tone. What is the surprising tone? That okay, working from home offers convenience, but what happens? Many employees report feeling more isolated and less productive. So you have a positive idea and you have a negative idea. That sort of is our surprising tone. And yes, you can replace this although with even though, like I already told you. Do not use though instead. I mean, although or even though. Do not use though in its place. And yes, there is one more goof up that I see sometimes. If you place a comma right after although in the beginning of the sentence, that is also considered wrong. So don't do that. Moving on now. Here you go with while and whereas. Now, just like although, these conjunctions are also used for contrasting ideas, but when it comes to while and whereas, they connect exactly opposite ideas. So they need strong contrasting ideas. For example, in report writing, in IELTS report writing, we talk about highest versus lowest categories. So highest versus lowest is exactly opposite. And when we talk about exact opposites, then we use while and whereas. Let me show you with the help of example. So look here, the sales of television was the highest in 2020. The sales of smartphones was the lowest in 2020. So yes, we have contrasting ideas, but they are strongly contrasting each other because they are almost, I would say, opposing ideas, highest versus lowest. Now, how exactly we can combine them? Here you go. While television sales topped in 2020, smartphone sales were at their lowest. So we are using while here to connect these two ideas. And look at these examples for whereas. I enjoy classical music, whereas she prefers jazz. Exactly opposite. Classical versus jazz. Exactly opposite. And when you have whereas and while in the middle, then we don't use a comma. But when we have them in the beginning, just like although, then we need a comma in the middle. So look at this one. Whereas dogs are loyal, cats are independent. So once again, we have strong opposing ideas. So, and here you go with IELTS level examples. Urban areas tend to have better public transport, whereas rural regions often lack basic connectivity. So, we are talking about urban areas versus rural regions, exact opposites, no comma because we have whereas in the middle. Then I'm saying in 2010, the birth rate rose in Canada, whereas it declined in Australia. So rose, it went up, declined, it came down, exact opposite, and hence the usage of whereas. And the last one, whereas public opinion supported the new law, many experts raised concerns about its impact. So public although supported this new law, but experts, they were not in the support. They raised concerns. They raised issues regarding it. So once again, opposing ideas. Now, if you end up writing these kind of opposing ideas in your IELTS essays, reports, or use them in your speaking, the grammatical range and accuracy score goes up. So make the most of these conjunctions like although, whereas, and while, and see how your score goes up. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.